Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dragon Stories. And tonight we're with David Jensen, another one of my good friends that I met in Pisac, Peru. He actually kind of just showed up on my birthday 2 years, it was like a year and a half ago. In October, we organized a silent. Oh, say hi, David.
Hi.
So that because sometimes the screen splits so that your image comes on. Anyway, so somehow a silent disco was organized for my birthday, and then just when we were kind of, I don't even know, we were running out of things to do, we were planning to do a movie night, and David comes in and he's like, we're doing a singing circle, a sacred singing circle. I'm like, what? The day could not get any better. And then so there David was singing songs from Hawaii, different songs from Hawaii on his ukulele. And I think you were even drumming with a drum, and then you started doing mantras. And I'm like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And so ever since then, I've been wanting David to come onto the show so he could talk about the importance of plant medicine, the importance of singing, the importance of coming together to sing, since he comes from a family of musicians, and kind of how he's added that to his ambiance of singing and lightheartedness wherever he goes. So take it away, David.
Okay, yeah, music. Wow, so I have just totally the floor open to speak here. So first of all, yeah, really grateful to have the chance to share with you. And that was a beautiful memory. It was great for me also because I thought I was just coming to like the song circle, and then there's also the silent disco and the movie night afterwards. So it was quite a great experience.
Yeah,
so
it was a good birthday.
To give a little bit of context, just for fun, because everybody likes to quote, Einstein and Tesla and whatnot. But Tesla said everything, think of things in terms of vibration. Everything is vibration. And, if we think about us as humans, how we interact with the world, how we communicate, there's our thoughts, which is a very subtle level of energy. And there's our words, our speech, which is a higher level of energy. And song is actually even a higher level of creation energy. So if we want to change our mood, if we want to convey a message, if we want to connect with somebody or connect with nature, singing is one of the best ways to do it. And I've heard it said, and I think it's probably true, that humans, if you look at the evolution of humans learned how to sing before we spoke. So imagine, how long ago, primitive human beings, early communication was not talking like this, but it would have been more just like sounds and songs. So it's in our nature to sing.
That makes sense, because like all the songs from the Vedas, a lot of the mantras that we do today, they came from the Vedas, and they were all songs. And before that, they said that they passed the knowledge of the Vedas through songs. Everything was through oral, and then they started to write it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So also, if we look at traditional cultures or indigenous cultures across the world, song is always an important part of every culture. If you look at ceremonies, rituals, community things, music is an integral part of keeping a culture together, keeping a village together. And cultures and communities that have music and shared music as a part of their life are naturally going to be stronger communities. It's like a glue that helps people connect. So just a few thoughts about music and song from a cultural perspective. Anything you'd like to add to that, Kat? Does that sound about right?
Well, hold on a second. I need to pause this. I might need to change the internet. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. And yeah, I think that's why I loved living in Pisac so much, is because we had such a strong musical community. And I've never had that before. We had jam nights on Tuesday. We had the kiirtan on Thursday. Saturday, we get together and do ecstatic dance. And you see, and none of these involved alcohol. and there was so much music all the time. Like there was either once or twice a week you'd find people singing around a fire, and then we've had, you know, a couple of kirtans at my place around a fire. We've had it in at Tantraya as well, and also in a teepee. And you're right. And I've never felt such closeness to people and such cohesion as I did in Pisac. And I think that the music component is what made a difference. And now I'm wondering, like, what's it like to grow up in a family that's like musically oriented, where you have music? Like, are you closer, or like, are you able to be more free and expressive growing up in such an environment?
Well, one thing speak to a couple of things here. First, if we look at just singing together with other people, there's something unique about singing with people. In a conversation, I say something, you listen, then you say something. So there's kind of like, it's almost like ping pong a little bit, right? But singing in a group, whether it's, you know, in a ceremony or in church or with friends or with family, it's a very unique thing where everybody, it's like a conversation in unison. And so it's not just us talking to each other, but it's like we're talking together to the universe, or we're talking together to whatever energy or principle or thing that we're speaking to. So that's one of the things that's really powerful about music, especially in groups, is there's an alignment of mind, body, and spirit between the people who are singing together. It's kind of like a synchronization of everybody in the circle or in the group. So that's one reason why in communities, you know, for example, in Pisac, where there's song circles and kiirtan and ceremony, there's a real feeling of connection because people are literally attuning themselves to each other through singing together.
Holy crap. I feel like every society needs to be redone now. Like every city, every village, you know, needs to now have a kirtan and jam night. Like it just has to happen every week, you know. And I wonder if the crime rate in war, well, probably all of that will drop.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at causes for things like mental illness and addiction and crime, and the list goes on, one of the big reasons is a sense of disconnection and a sense of not belonging. And literally through singing together with other people, there's a physical and emotional experience of like belonging. It simply comes through singing together. So it's one of the easiest ways to connect in a group.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you want to sing for us right now, or do you want to put it out till later?
Oh, either way is fine.
Because I figured, why not start now, and then we could talk a little bit more after, or like, you know, disperse it out.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing that I'll say is, like, most cultures have like children's songs that are commonly known among everybody, and I think in some magic of the universe, children's songs and like nursery rhymes are one very powerful yet subtle way that like some of the healing energy of song has been passed down. So even think about songs like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Like there's these songs that carry these deep messages that are very beautiful messages. Yeah.
Wow. And wait, you have you created your own record, no? Where you're singing? You have your own
an album. I have a bunch of songs up on SoundCloud, but I don't have like a record or an album that I produced yet.
Hopefully soon.
Soon. Yeah, it's in the works. A little more focus and discipline. Yeah.
Right. That's what coaches are good for. I highly recommend getting a coach. Anyway, okay. Take it away. Okay,
so let's do a song that you can sing along, or whoever watches it can sing along easily too.
Okay.
Here's one that I like to sing, and it's a song from somebody else. I think her name is Bachan, Bachan. But song called Bountiful, Blissful, Beautiful. And it's kind of our own version or adaptation of the song. So it's pretty easy to sing along to. The words are, love is bountiful, blissful, beautiful love is. I am bountiful, blissful, beautiful I am. You are bountiful, blissful, beautiful you are, and so on. Okay?
Okay.
Love is bountiful and blissful and beautiful. Love is bountiful, blissful and beautiful. Love is bountiful, blissful and beautiful. Love is 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 love is, and you're welcome to sing along if you want. I am bountiful and blissful and beautiful. I am bountiful, blissful and beautiful. I am bountiful, blissful and beautiful. I am You are bountiful and beautiful and blissful. You are bountiful, blissful and beautiful. You are bountiful and blissful and beautiful. You are. Love is, you are, I am, we are bountiful, blissful and beautiful. We are, you and I, earth and sky. We are, love is, love is, love is, she is, love is, you are, I am, we are, love is, love is, love is.
Woo! I was hesitating there in the beginning, and then towards the end I was singing a little bit more. I'm a little bit shy. I feel like I definitely need to, work on not being as shy when it comes to singing.
Yeah, well, the good news is, so even something like that, if you're shy to sing along, then just like sing along in your head, or you can just mouth the words, because any type of participation, whether it's just on the level of thinking or singing loud or singing softly, or even just mouthing the words, actually gets you in alignment with the song and allows you to really feel it in your body.
I was humming.
Oh,
and
good. Perfect.
I was humming and I was doing the shaker. And then after I closed my eyes, I was able to kind of get into it. And then I started singing a little bit.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. With mantras, it's, I think, easier for me to sing because I've gotten used to singing to mantras. English songs, I don't have as much experience, unless it's like Michael Jackson by myself. Do you want to do another one? One more?
Yeah, let's do a children's song.
Okay.
And you can sing along to this one if you want.
Okay.
Actually, you have to. It's kind of, with this song, it's kind of necessary.
Have you thought of doing an album for children?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I should do the children's album first. That seems like that would be more.
You should, because who does that? Hardly anybody does songs for kids, but it sounds like, your heart is in it,
All right. Okay, so here we go. No, let's change keys. No, that's fine. Dun da 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 dun dun da da dun dun da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da da dun 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 da da dun dun da 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 dun 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 da da dun dun dun. You know the song, right? This little light of mine, oh, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, 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 I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And this little voice of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it sing, yeah. This little voice of mine, I'm gonna let it ring. This little voice of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it ring, let it sing, let it shine. And this little heart of mine, oh, oh, I'm gonna let it love. This little heart of mine, oh, shine like the sun above. This little heart of mine, oh, 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 I'm gonna let it love, let it love, let it love, oh, let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, oh, I'm gonna let it shine, yeah, yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, oh, this little light of mine, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, oh, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let your light shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, we shine, oh, let it shine. When I'm outside, like in the park or somewhere playing the ukulele and kids come up, this is a song, I love playing this because kids will always get into this song. Yeah.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, the whole time I was thinking I really need to try harder here in Sri Lanka where I'm at and like create a jam night or a drumming circle. I even posted in the local chat, you know, like, does anybody want to come together, or does anyone sing mantras or like have a drumming circle? But I didn't get much of a response. So yeah, but maybe not start with mantras, maybe start with like a drumming circle or some sort of jam session on the beach, and then we can like slowly move into mantras, you know. But
any type of thing, just getting people together with music and see what different people bring to the circle, and so it'll be co-created. Even if you're steering it, you know, other people will bring their own magic. Yeah, you're right. Not like, what's the word? Not put too much pressure on it. Let it just become. Because even like when you came for my birthday, we were doing all sorts of songs. You were doing Hawaiian songs, you were doing mantra songs. So I think someone shared a Beatles song. Yeah, there's a bunch of songs in there. Yeah. I just want to keep singing. No. Okay, we can do another one. Let's see. Well, here's a song that a little bit harder to sing along to, but a song that I love because it's a song from Peru that contains just some very deep cultural messages. And I mean, songs for me are one of the main ways of like really receiving teachings, even in plant medicine ceremonies. When we work with, whether it's ayahuasca or other medicines, you know, some of the benefit of the ceremony is the plant itself is a teacher, but the plants also open us up to receive vibration and transmissions through the songs. So pretty much any plant medicine ceremony will have also songs and prayers that are, you know, the way they work is to like really open the heart and help the heart connect to other people, to help the heart connect to spirit. So this is a song that contains some just very deep and beautiful and profound transmissions from the Quechua people in Peru. And the basic message of the song is Mother Earth is in celebration. It kind of helps us to tune into the spirit of celebration of Mother Earth.
Ooh.
Este cognac viene agüita serpenteando por las acequias en remolinos hacia nuestras vidas. Este cognac viene agüita serpenteando por las acequias en remolinos hacia nuestras vidas. De cantar gualinas y ya yo ves llorando toditas mis penas se acabaron. Pachamama está de fiesta, Pachamama está de fiesta. Una estrellita que alegre me decía, canta cantorcito a la agüita, agüita madre cuña, agüita madre cuña. De cantar gualinas y ya yo ves llorando toditas mis penas se acabaron. Pachamama está de fiesta, Pachamama está de fiesta, Pachamama está de fiesta.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, I almost cried on that one. I was like, I miss Peru so much.
Oh,
It was so beautiful. And like with, you sang that one really nice. So before when you were saying with the ayahuasca, I remember because you're wearing the Shipibo pattern shirt. The first time I drank with the Shipibo, it was in San Roque. It was at Womanwasi. I don't know if you know of that place. It was right across from where you were at Womanwasi. And I never realized that you can have a person be exactly like ayahuasca. Like the Shipibo man that we drank with, he gave us a really like red colored ayahuasca. And it was very interesting because like compared to other ceremonies, he was completely quiet. He didn't say anything. He was just quiet for the first hour or 2 hours because I think he wanted us to feel the medicine ourselves. But then he started coming around to each one of us. There was only 6 of us. It was actually me and 5 Russians at the time, 2 years ago. And when he sang, it's almost like he knew exactly which song to sing for you. And when he sang, I felt it was ayahuasca. Like him and ayahuasca were one. There was no difference. And I never thought that could even happen. I was like, this guy has become ayahuasca. He is literally singing the same vibration that I was feeling inside of me. That was the ayahuasca spirit. He was in that same vibration when he was singing. And it was so beautiful. And I've never experienced that since then. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The Shipibo language is such a, it's such a, I'm just gonna say like a perfect language.
Really?
Yeah, really. You know, when I first started learning Shipibo songs and prayers, I was just blown away by the power of the words. And it's like a very clean and clear and simple part. It's like the way they describe it is like the plants taught them the language. And anytime, I mean, sometimes I'll be meditating or even doing like mantras or kiirtan, whether it's English or in like Hindi or Sanskrit or Spanish. And sometimes like, I'll just feel that like my vibration's low or I'm just like, my mind's cloudy. And anytime I go to Shipibo, I start doing songs or mantras in Shipibo, it's just like, it's clear. It's like any garbage, any trash, any darkness, it's just like, it's gone.
Whoa. And I thought Sanskrit was powerful.
Oh, Sanskrit is powerful.
Yeah,
that's my number 2.
Wow, I never thought I could, because anytime I'm like foggy headed. I'm always Shiva mantras or Gayatri mantra or Om chanting, but I never considered Shipibo. I didn't work with them as much as you did, because you went to Pucallpa, right? And you were drinking with them and serving medicine. And were you also learning songs from them? Was that your like primary objective?
I mean, it was one of the results. Yeah, I felt the call to go to visit the Shipibo, so I did a couple of dietas in the Pucallpa area, a few different shamans, and yeah, they were gracious to teach me a lot of words and a few songs, and enough of the language that I can now like create my own Ikaros in Shipibo.
Really? Like you know enough of the language to...
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
There's obviously still a lot to learn, but the basic Ikaros. The Ikaros for protection, for healing, for opening the heart, for clearing the energy of the body, for connecting with the earth and the sun and the elements, and gratitude, and yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I know you were serving or working with plant medicine in the States, or in your past. You've served plant medicine, so we won't go into the details. Do you see yourself as a medicine man, or like in the future?
Oh, great question. It's interesting. I've worked with many different plant medicines, both receiving and serving. And I'm currently in a period where I'm in like period of meditation and conversation with the plants without actually, taking the medicine. So part of my regular meditation practice is connecting to the spirits of different plants, ayahuasca, wachuma, kambo, bufo, iboga, other medicines, and really just having a conversation to better understand the spirit of the medicines, kind of their teachings on a more subtle level. So in terms of the path for me serving medicine, I don't know. I feel a very strong connection with several different plants, and they've all given me the guidance to just like take this time to really integrate everything. Experiences serving medicine have been beautiful experiences, and I believe probably there will be, it'll be an important part of my path moving forward. Although one thing I'm also looking at is how to integrate the teachings of different plant medicines through other practices, through meditation practices, coaching, other modalities, because not everybody lives in a place that they have easy access to these medicines, or in a place where the medicines are legal. And so I'm looking at what are ways that I can bring the energy and the vibration, the teachings of these plants, and make them more accessible through things like guided meditations, through music, through coaching, through other things. So yeah, my best guess right now is that my work in the future will include medicine work, but also include other modalities that bring in teachings from the plant medicines.
Yeah, no, it's just like seeing you with the t-shirt and your musical, and with the Shipibo pattern, and then the background in plant medicine, but also your background in music. And wasn't one of your family members a priest?
Well, I grew up in the Mormon church, and most of us were fairly devout in the Mormon church. Let's see, a few of my family members, including myself, were Mormon missionaries. So
yeah, so you have that vibe, that priest medicine man vibe.
Yeah, so some very different experiences in my past, being a Mormon missionary and serving ayahuasca
and wachuma, and the fact that you really want to open up people's voices. Sometimes you had that retreat in San Roque. Wasn't it about opening up your voice? And it was like
Yeah, about a year ago, we did a retreat near Tarapoto in San Roque, working with different plant medicines. But one of the key elements of that retreat was helping people open their voice. And I've seen, ceremonies done different ways, but some of the best ceremonies that I've participated in, both as a participant or facilitating, have been, ceremonies where people are really encouraged and participate in joining the songs, joining the prayers, and using their own voice. Because again, we can have our thoughts, which is great, but when we bring the energy of speech and song, it really clarifies the intention. It brings power into the prayer. And we as children of the Creator, as sons and daughters of the Creator, also have the gift of creation. And through our word is how we initiate the process of creation, as well as how we initiate connection. So yeah, it's very important for people to find their voice, to use their voice, to open their voice. And even beyond words, I mean, one of the workshops that we did last year at this retreat was helping people just feel, let's say, the vibration of love, and just choose a sound and sing the sound, not even the word love, but just even a vowel sound that for them represents the feeling of love. Okay, so then you sing the sound, and then you imagine sending this sound to somebody that you love. Simply through the vibration, connecting with somebody you love, and just through a vibration sending that energy to somebody. So yeah, sound is very important. Singing is very important.
Yeah, usually like when I'm doing my Shiva mantra on the beach, so I'm already kind of, Shiva brings me to like a higher consciousness, and then people will come into my mind that I need to pray for. And I usually pray for them while I'm in this vibration, because it's more clear, they will get it. I always feel like they're going to get my prayers because I'm in a clear place. But what I wanted to say, yeah, like most of the ceremonies that I was in, the ayahuasca ceremonies, we didn't get to sing. Like in Tantrai, we weren't singing. With the Shipibo, he was singing. Like only with Christina, we got to sing a little bit. And I think that was some of the funner ceremonies, is the fact that we could sing together. Not all of them, because sometimes she was channeling dolphin sounds, and some of them, she said, there were like really like powerful songs, and it's hard to pronounce the correct vibration. But like we did 60% of the songs, and that was some of the I don't know how to say it, the funner the funner ceremonies. But it all depends what you're going for, right? What
are you familiar with the Santo Daime Church?
Yeah, I never got to go. I always wanted to go because I heard about the singing and the dancing, and I never got to experience that.
Yeah, Santo Daime is amazing because it's a church it's an ayahuasca church that also brings in a lot of Christian teachings, and for them the sacrament is ayahuasca. Instead of wine and bread, they have ayahuasca as the sacrament. But in the Santo Daime services, everybody sings. And many services, like people like stand up and dance and sing, but like everybody's fully participating with their voice in the songs, and it's really powerful. Yeah,
I think I always like stayed away from it because I thought, oh, it's going to be too much light. So I always thought that ayahuasca, you need to do it in the dark, because it's kind of like you're going into the shadows, you're doing shadow work. So I always felt that it might be too much for me doing ayahuasca in like a bright setting. But then after a while, I kind of was like, yeah, but they're singing and dancing. That might be fun. Like maybe that's what I need. So maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there was another question that I had on my mind, and now I've lost it. Can we do a mantra then?
Yeah, you want to do like a mantra song?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I like this. I think all conversations should go like this. A little bit of singing, a little bit of talking.
Should I do one that I know or just make up one? What do you think?
I don't know. Like I was thinking Asatoma Satgamaya or Shiva Shiva Shambho or
well, let's first do Lokah Samastah Sukinho Bhavantu. How about that?
Oh, for peace. Yes, we need that.
Lokah Samastah Sukinho Bhavantu. Lokah, Lokah Samastah, Samastah Sukinho, Sukinho Bhavantu. May all beings live in peace, may all beings find peace, may all beings breathe in peace, may all beings be peace. Lokah, Lokah Samastah, Samastah Sukinho Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Lokah, Lokah Samastah, Samastah Sukinho, Sukinho Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. 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 May all beings live in peace, may all beings live in love and harmony here on the earth this day. May all beings live in peace, may all beings be peace, love and harmony here together this day. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Om. Hare Krishna, Krishna Om. Hare Rama, Rama Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. And as we sing, we send these vibrations to our brothers and our sisters far and near. Now and here we send our love all around. And may the peace flow through my body and from my heart into yours. And may the love abound. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. And we we not only pray for our brothers and sisters, but also for the earth and the plants and the trees and the birds and the bees, because we know that we are one family. We are one with the earth. Yes, it's true, we are. Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Lokah Samastah Sukinho Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. 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 Lokah Samastah Sukinho Bhavantu.
Oh, shout. I miss singing so much. So good. I think if you were to do another voice opening plant medicine retreat, I'm there.
All right, awesome.
I want to open up my voice more. I think that's the whole purpose behind even this podcast, was to learn to speak, work on my throat chakra. Like, I may not be singing as much now, because like in PSAC I was singing a lot more. And I tried to sing on my own here, but like this podcast is a big part of that. I think is like, we really have to work on our chakras. It just doesn't just happen on opening them. Yeah. So if you were to do that again, I'm there. I would even help you organize.
Awesome. I will let you know.
Yeah. So
So what's next for you? What are your musical plans in Sri Lanka?
Well, I really need to get some people together. Like I really need a musician. So
You're a musician, you have a voice, right? I just saw you singing along.
I was singing, but but like, you play guitar, it's easy to sing with you because you're like holding it, you're creating the space, and then I can come in and sing with it. It's kind of like when I play mantras here, sometimes the birds start singing too. It's almost like they're singing with the mantra, it's kind of cute. They're like, and they get really loud too. They're like really getting into it. And so I think that's why it's important to have someone that either plays the accordion, like with Krishna Das, he's always the harmonium, or someone with a guitar, and then so they set the space, and then other people can join, and it's like you've created like a canvas, a musical canvas. So I need someone like you, or if you want to fly here from Vietnam, that would be great.
Thank you for the invitation.
We can start something. I'll put it out there into the universe. I think I'll put out another ad and see if we could start something on the beach, because it's like such a beautiful beach and beautiful ocean, but there's nothing musically oriented happening other than clubs. So, but they do have fires. So we'll see if I could manifest something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all you really need is to find one person.
Just one person.
One person. And then once you have one person, then it's easier for two people to invite a third person. But you just need to find that first person. First person's the hardest. To find the one person who's going to sing with you on the beach or wherever. And then you'll be able to find more. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. It'll happen. It'll be great if like something like that could start here. I feel like, I've added something to the environment, I even found a place for ecstatic dance, but that's a whole other ballgame.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, and then I remembered my question and then I forgot it after we started singing. I guess like I'm thinking future wise, kind of like we had that conversation with Ashira on unschooling her children, like she didn't want to put them through the regular school system because then they don't have the freedom to grow up into the type of people that they want to be. Kind of like I went through a very rigorous school system and I kind of got, pressured into engineering. And when I was talking to her, I was thinking like, wow, what would people become? Like, what would children become when they have so much freedom? And then now I'm thinking, especially if there's music around them when they're growing up, it's even, how do I say it? Like, I wonder if, how that changes, like from your perspective, how a person is different when they're raised around music and singing, compared to that one that wasn't.
Yeah, well, great question. When I went to Brazil to visit the Huni Quinn, I was blown away in the best possible way by just seeing the role that music played in the community that I visited.
Mm-hmm.
When they would have ceremonies, they would have, almost everybody in the village come to the ceremony. So you'd have an ayahuasca ceremony with 100 people, 200 people in it.
Oh.
And then some people would be sitting, but, a good half of the people or so would be dancing. But it wasn't just like, disco sound. No, they're dancing together. So you'd have like a line of men who are dancing kind of like a snake, and then a line of women. So you have like these two lines that are going around. They're just kind of like weaving organically. And then individual dancers, like the women, they'll just be like, kind of like spinning flowers, but also somehow in harmony and in conjunction with like these two lines. And it's not choreographed, but it's so beautiful. And I'm like, how do they do this? And then one day, it was like after I went to one of these ceremonies, I went to one of the Malokas where they would have ceremonies, like a smaller Maloka. Mm-hmm. And there's some kids in there playing. And so I went in there and the kids are, just kind of doing their thing. And so I had a guitar with me. And so I started playing, and then the girls just started dancing. And I'm like, whoa. And then turns out that some of the kids knew how to play guitar. And so just like, even with the kids, it's normal for them. They're dancing and they're singing, and it's how they connect. And just seeing like these kids had confidence to dance and the confidence to sing. But again, not just like solo style, but they're like learning to sing together and dance together. Also like visiting the Shipibo community in a town called San Francisco, just seeing them like getting together and practicing their dances. It's just really beautiful to see, like dancing as a group in a community with I don't know, there's just a certain like connection and bond that's formed that's really clear to see when you're there and just witnessing community dancing. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and then of course you have more harmony if you're dancing together all the time. So that means if there's any conflicts, you know how to resolve them, or maybe there isn't any conflicts because you're always dancing together. Like
less conflict, I would say.
Yeah, they probably have less conflicts because they're dancing together. So I'm like, okay, we just need to get Ukraine and Russia dancing. I'm wondering if they were dancing more, we wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, and the thing is like in the West is like, oh, dancing, like, okay, let's have a dance off, right? So even in the West, like a lot of times dancing, it's like you go to the club, everybody's kind of doing their own thing, or you have your little circle of friends, right. Or like let's have a dance battle, right? But in the idea of like a dance battle would just be, so they're like, what? No, I mean, it's like, so you have like groups, you have like, I'll send you a video later. Like I recorded a video when I was in Peru this last time. It was just like, I saw it and I'm just like, I was touched just watching them dance.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And is this the Honey Queen or the Shipibo people?
Well, I'll send you a video from the Shipibos.
Yeah, I never really got to hang out with the Shipibos, like the community, like a Shipibo community. So I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, even with me, like I remember going to concerts and raves in the States, and I always danced by myself. I would just always do my own thing. Like I don't even, and I think there's not a lot, but I know there's some places in California when they do ecstatic dance, they do contact dancing, and I don't even know. Like I get all uncomfortable with contact dancing because I've been like dancing by myself my whole life. So it would be interesting growing up in a community where you're doing ceremonies together all the time and you're dancing together. You don't, yeah, like you said, you're not as uncomfortable. You're more open. But I wonder how that changes the psychology of a person. Does it become more flowy? Does it develop faster? Like, how does your thinking change when you're raised like that with plant medicine and dancing and singing versus someone that's raised in the West? I guess now I have to visit a Shipibo community, but it's hard to figure out exactly like what's going on on the brain part.
Oh, totally. I mean, my best way I can describe from what I saw and experienced is like just a more obvious sense of belonging, sense of cohesion, connection. And this might sound a little bit foreign or strange, but calmer mind.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I notice this with myself, and I think this is common for people in the West, like the way that we've been trained culturally and in our families and education system is like, okay, analyzing, comparing, figuring things out. And it's kind of like a survival mentality, right? And so it's normal for, best I can tell, folks in the West to just do a lot of thinking. A lot of the energy is up here. It was really interesting when I was visiting the Shipibos because they have, it's very different. Like some of them like literally can just like read your thoughts. No joke at all. So, and their minds are so still that they'll pick up a thought. They're like, that's not mine. Oh, that's he's thinking that, right? And so, one time I was visiting
Wow.
with a friend who was visiting her aunt who has a ayahuasca center. So we're sitting there talking, and there's some pauses in the conversation, and she just looks at me. She's like, "You're thinking a lot, aren't you?" And it was clear that she could kind of like sense the mental activity, because with the ayahuasca, like she's been able to kind of get her thoughts and her brain super clear. And I had experiences in ceremonies where like I would have a thought and then the shaman would start laughing, or just like there would be a reaction in the room and I'm like, oh, somebody just, and it was good too, because it would be like a feedback from the room. So it's like, okay, let's keep my thoughts clear. And especially with the Shipibos, it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I just have to assume that everybody here can hear my thoughts. So if I'm going to think everything, if I'm going to think something, I've got to like really be mindful, like any thought is like a conversation with the people in the room. So
wow,
don't just have random thoughts. If you're going to think anything, and make sure, okay, well, since you can all hear my thoughts, okay, this is what I'm thinking.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So if there's any misconception out there about plant medicine, I hope they listen to this recording, that you could read minds after plant medicine. That says a lot about plants. I was talking to Gabrielle from San Roque. I don't know if you met him, right? Gabrielle.
You told me I haven't met him yet though.
Yeah, from Cameroon. And so we had like almost a 2-hour conversation about ayahuasca and plants. And I was asking him, how are they so helpful, these plants, with depression, anxiety, addiction? And like they know exactly like what to show you and when and how much you can handle, especially with ayahuasca, but like the other plants are pretty smart as well. And I was like, how can they just like rewire our neurons and fix our brains, especially if they were like traumatized from childhood? And then he was like, well, we are plants. Like, he's like, this is a forest up here. You know, like, what? Yeah. I never considered it that way, right? Like, like everybody always, he's like, there's a forest here. There's a forest in here. And, and we, like, everybody always talks about we're 70% water, but we're actually made up of all 4 elements, but we don't really talk about the other 3. Fire, I think that the way the blood moves has to do with fire. With plants, the fact that there's DMT, or no, what is it? DMT in our pineal gland, and then when the plants interact with us, they open up that DMT. So I thought that was interesting, and that's what we're missing in our lives. Like, we may get water, we may get the fire, we might get the other elements, but not as much of the plants, especially when you're eating junk food and McDonald's and genetically modified foods. And it's like, no wonder we have a society in the West that has such high depression and, mental disorders, and we have the highest amounts of pill consumption. Is because we're not working with plants anymore that help clean all this up. I mean,
there's a lot of reasons. That's one of the reasons. I mean, if we look at diet, I mean, most people's diet is so much processed foods and but yeah, definitely.
Right. So since I'm really intrigued with the time that you spent with the Shipibo, what was like, and with the Honey Queen, what else did you find kind of shocking or impressive or beautiful within that culture? Because I know when I was drinking with the one of the Honey Queen members, with Christina, he was telling me that he started drinking at age 5, and he had to drink for a whole month, 30 days, ayahuasca every day. And it's funny because I mentioned that I had ayahuasca 37 times in 1 year, and people like panic. And then I'm like, see, and I'm still normal. Because, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Like, before I was leaving California for Peru, everyone's like, what? Gonna drink ayahuasca? Be careful, people get possessed. They don't come back. And yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what was some of your other impressions, like the difference between Western society and this type of culture, being raised with so much plants and plant medicine and music?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. There was a couple things I'd share. Like the way that the Shipibos and the Huniquin use ayahuasca is actually quite different. Specifically, the Huniquin that I spent time with, ayahuasca is somebody that is something that pretty much everybody in the community past a certain age. So let's say from teenagers up, pretty much everybody in the community has sat in ceremony and had ayahuasca. I don't think it's forced, but it's such a integral part of community life that it's just like the village has a ceremony, right? And
do they do it like every month, or how often do they have ceremonies?
They have festivals a couple of times a year. No, the place that I visited also has a strong Santo Daime tradition, and so they would do Santo Daime ceremonies twice a month. And then there are more traditional Huniquin ceremonies once a month, or sometimes they do festivals with a few ceremonies. So it was a mix of Santo Daime and then their own traditional. But again, still like broad participation. And I guess I would say they treat ayahuasca as a sacrament, as like a communal sacrament. It's communion. So, you know, Catholics go and do the bread and the water, and Huniquin, ayahuasca is their communion. Whereas for the Shipibos, it was really interesting to see that most of the Shipibos that I interacted with had never drank ayahuasca, which was amazing to me. I'm like, really? Because the Shipibos are known for like really being masters of the plants. And one of the reasons for this is, again, this is maybe different villages.
You mean masters of the other plants.
Well, so the Shipibos really have a deep understanding of the plants. So a couple of the teachers that I worked with, they would just be like, oh, okay, this is what we use this plant for, and this is what we use the bark of this tree for, and then this leaf is good for stomach aches, and just a really deep knowledge of the plants. And then with ayahuasca, the Shipibo ayahuasca tends to be very stronger, at least in my experience, than the Huniquin ayahuasca, but they treat it as a medicine primarily. So Huniquin, it's like a sacrament for communion. The Shipibo shamans usually will speak about their work as like, oh, you know, I'm treating some patients this week. So it's not like clients, and it's not like just, no, like they have a patient, they have patients and like specific conditions. So they treat it as more like, I'm a doctor and these are my patients and this is the medicine. So there's a different approach to using the medicine as a medicine, primarily first as a medicine and then second as a sacrament. Whereas I think with the Huniquin, it's like first a sacrament and then maybe in some cases also a medicine. Wow. So I was interested to see that difference between the groups. And again, like I was fascinated to see that many of the Shipibos that I met had never had ayahuasca. Even one of my teachers, he's been serving ayahuasca for many years, and like his son-in-law has never had ayahuasca. And I'm like, well, your father-in-law, he's like a master with this medicine. And sounds like, oh no, that scares me. I don't. And so even just to hear like Shipibos who are close to the medicine, it's not automatic that they're going to drink ayahuasca.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I think that the Shipibo approach is a really good reminder, though, that if we speak of plant medicines, then it's important to remember that like with every medicine there is proper time, proper place for a proper reason. To expand the metaphor, like, so if we're talking about medicine, it's like, oh yeah, I love Tylenol, I'm gonna go and do some Tylenol today. You guys want to do Tylenol this weekend, right? I mean, if we use the example of Tylenol, it's kind of obvious, but like, okay, so I will use Tylenol if I have like maybe aches and pains, or maybe aspirin if I have a headache. But if it's a medicine, it's like, okay, so what is the reason I'm taking this medicine? And did it work the last time I took it? And do I need it again? Right? And with any medicine, if we're just like using it all the time, it's like, wait, is this the medicine or what is this? So it's important. And I think like the Shipibo tradition makes it really clear, like, okay, this is medicine for specific things. Now, ayahuasca is unique in the sense that you can say it's a medicine for mental, spiritual, emotional conditions. And it can also help with physical healing. But it's working on a much more subtle level with the energy of the body and the emotions and the brain and the heart. But just, keeping in mind, remembering what is a medicine? What does a medicine do? So if we're talking about plant medicines, I love plant medicine. I love Tylenol, right? So just keeping that in mind.
I know I got so much information from ayahuasca, and then even the last one, like it felt like Chaitanya came, and I never saw an image so like I felt like he was there, and it was really strong ayahuasca. You know, I pursed a lot the first time, and so that when I drank the second cup, and then it felt like Chaitanya said, "This is not your path. You know, your path is that of a yogi." And then I stopped drinking after that, and I felt, you know, I had to come to India, but I haven't gotten to India yet. But like now, like sometimes I get pushed, or I have this like feeling that I should go back to Peru. But I'm like, no, I'm not ready for plant medicine. I feel like I feel like I'm still integrating everything, you know, because you get so much information with ayahuasca and Wachuma that you really do need time to integrate, and you know, you can't just keep doing it. And so we were talking about developing, you know, your musical talent. What I found out with Wachuma, and I didn't even know this is what Chuma is good for. Like, if anybody doesn't know, what Chuma is the cactus plant, and what's the other name for it? It's similar to peyote.
It's called San Pedro.
San Pedro is the other term, right? And so we cooked it ourselves. We got a 7-point cactus from Cusco, and we cooked it ourselves. And after about an hour or two, I started playing my friend's harmonica, and I was really good. And I even started to sing like kind of a bluegrass twangy kind of voice. And I never even knew that I could play the harmonica. And then like when I'm not on Wachuma, I'm not able to play it as good. But on Wachuma, it's almost like it's either a past life is coming out, or like all of a sudden I could play a harmonica, and we've created like a bluegrass band, and we did it twice. Like me and the
Wow.
So I found like what Chuma seems to help a lot with creativity and opening up. Well, I mean, I wanted you to talk about it, since you've done work with Chuma a lot longer than I have. I only drank it like 5 times.
Yeah, well, Wachuma, one thing that it does is it helps to like really calm the prefrontal cortex, calms the brain. So it helps us to just be like super present. And so in a place of being relaxed and calm, then it's like, oh, singing, I can explore, you know, I can explore this way, I can explore that way. The name Wachuma, as it was described to me, means to cut off the head. That's in Quechua, one of the translations for it is to like to cut off the head. So literally it helps to like just like get us in our body and our heart, and just kind of like turn the head off and have the experience of like this just being totally chill and calm, and everything is good. So then when I'm in a place of everything is good and chill and calm, then I can like really slow down and just like feel the beauty and feel the love and just see the miracle of life. And yeah, so that's one of the best things about Shema. And then and then that space, it's a space that we can connect more easily, that we can express more easily. So if you're singing or playing an instrument, totally.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's one of the days is when I adopted my cat, and then we couldn't stop meowing. We were like, we just couldn't stop meowing, and we were laughing so much. It's like you can be a kid again, you know? And then we're like, I remember saying, I now know why the Egyptians worship the cats. There's a lot to worship here. And it's like we got into this mindset that you would never get into being like not on Wachuma. You know, you become like a child again, and you're like go back in time. And I don't know.
Well, legend has it that the famous Walt Disney was a big fan of peyote and mescaline, and received a lot of his inspiration from working with peyote and mescaline.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I've been told.
Yeah,
I think
now
it's in some books somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I know for sure that I need to be doing more Wachuma, especially if I want to be more creative.
Well, many ways to tap into creativity.
That's true. You're right. Okay, what do you think? One more song? Or
All right, yeah.
One or two more songs. Two more songs.
Yeah.
Yes. I just love it.
Okay, so what do you think? English, Spanish, Shipibo?
Whatever you're being drawn to, or whatever.
Okay,
whatever wants to come out.
This is a song that comes from, I heard it first, like from a cacao ceremony, but it's a great song that can be expanded to other plant medicines or other topics. So. Cacaocito, Santa Medicina, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Ayahuasca, Santa Medicina, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Plantas santas curanderas, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Pachamamma amorosa, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Light in me sees the light in you. I bow to the light you are. Oh, the light in me sees the light in you, and I bow to the light you are. We are medicine, we are light. Sons and daughters of the earth, sons and daughters of the sky. Ayahuasca curandera pila maya ye. Wakantanka wopila heya 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 hey. Light in me sees the light in you. I bow to the light you are. Oh, the light in me sees the light in you, and I bow to the light you are. We are love, children of the light. Oh, we are medicine, we are light. Hey ya, 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 oh, ah, hey, hey ya, 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 hey. Cambosito, Santa Medicina, hey ya, hey ya, hey, hey. Wachumita, Santa Medicina, hey ya, hey ya, hey. We are medicine, we are children of the earth and sky. Oh, we are light, we are children of the one, you and I. Vuela, taita, guaira, brilla, brilla, taita, inchi, limpia, sana, fluya, fluya, yakumama, heya, hey, heya, 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 hey. Fosito, Santa Medicina, heya, heya, hey. Plantas santas, animales, pina maya, yeah. The light in me sees the light in you, and I bow to the light you are. Oh, the light in me sees the light in you, I bow to the light you are.
I think we should call it. Yeah. Unless, is there anything else you want to add when it comes to the importance of music or plant medicine or creativity or expression?
Yeah, so I've recently started going to services of an organization called Ananda. Have you heard of them?
I've heard of them. I think they have their own mantra.
I'm sure they do.
Is it Ananda Marga?
No, that's another organization. So Ananda Marga is one thing.
Okay.
Ananda is another one. So who is the person who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi?
Yogananda.
Yogananda. So one of his disciples, with the blessing of Yogananda, started an organization called Ananda. And they have beautiful services and songs. But I've been learning some of their songs, and I really like theirs. So I'll share one of their songs.
Okay, cool.
And just a couple words about this. So there's, different ways of connecting to spirit. And one of the paths is called Bhakti Yoga, or the path of devotion. And so this can be devotion to Christ. In the case of some Christians, it's devotion to Krishna. Could be devotion simply to God. But this is a song of devotion.
Nice.
Hold on, let's see. Okay, we'll just jump into it. That's fine. I'll figure it out as I go. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Rama, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Rama, I am thine, I am thine. Krishna, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Krishna, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Oh, love, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Love, I am thine, I am thine. Love, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Love, I am thine, I am thine. Oh, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, love divine. Be thou mine, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, I am thine. Mother Earth, I am thine, I am thine. Mother Earth, I am thine. Father Sky, I am thine, I am thine. Father Sky, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Father, Mother, I am thine. Oh, Mother, Father, I am thine. Light divine, I am thine, I am thine. Light divine, I am thine. Oh, light divine, I am thine, I am thine. Light divine, I am thine. Oh, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Light divine, I am thine. Light divine, I am thine. Woo!
Beautiful. Do you know any more mantras, or are you tired?
Oh, well, it's midnight for me, so I do know more mantras, and we'll save it for another time.
All right. See, it's just a reason I have to create my own kiirtan here.
But recently, well, we could do one. So recently, there's, Om Namah Shivaya.
Uh-huh.
I was singing Om Namah Shivaya recently, and I realized I love Shiva, but it's incomplete, because if we look at the Indian or the Hindu cosmology, there's the balance between Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So if we're singing to Shiva, we're only singing to the deconstruction or the destruction phase. And obviously Shiva is more than that. Shiva, in some traditions, is like representing wisdom and masculine presence. But I've been singing recently like to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, so combining the...
Wait, can I share the one I've been singing?
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Okay, this is how it goes. Shivaya Namaha. Shivaya Namaha. Shivaya Namaha. Shivaya Namaha. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Namah Shivaya. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya. So I like that one because I like.
I'm going to play it for you.
Okay.
Let's see this for a second. Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya, Girija Namah Shivaya. I don't remember the words. Shankara Namah Shivaya.
Arunachala Namah Shivaya. Arunachala Namah Shivaya.
Arunachala Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya.
We would have to practice more, but what I like about that one is I thought I came up with it. I'm like, oh, I came up with this mantra because I was like, I was in Asangate when the words came to me, and then I realized, no, it's a Krishna Das mantra. But I just kind of remembered it when I was in the mountain. And every time I sing that particular mantra, the hail always comes. And then even in Ukraine, the hail came. Like the first time I sang that mantra in Lviv, the hail also came. So it was like, okay, this mantra brings on the hail. That's what it's just what I associated with. And what I like about it is, Ramana Maharshi, who spent time in the Shiva mountain. It's like they say it's the largest lingam in the world because it's a mountain itself. That's called Arunachala, or either Arunachala or Arunachala, and that's in Tiruvannamalai. So I feel every time I'm singing that, I am like embodying the Shiva mountain, or like you're bringing in an entire Shiva mountain.
Wow.
Yeah. I like that one. Yeah. And then of course I do the Hare Krishna one. I've been doing that one since 2005. 18 years now, I tell everybody about it. I'm like, it's the coolest mantra on the planet. There's a reason why it's called the Maha Mantra. I'm like, I would never have traveled to 26 countries or gone through the military or like studied the some of the Vedic texts in my master's program if it wasn't for that mantra. That mantra like always kept me pushing through my boundaries and limits. Like, you need to go to Sri Lanka. Now you need to go to India and learn yoga. Now you should be doing ayahuasca. Is always telling me what to do. Well, either that, or it's also the other way of looking at it is the power of vibration. You were saying that the plants were able to clean their mind and they became psychic. The same thing happens to me when I chant along the ocean. The chanting shuts down my brain to where it has become calm, like the ocean, and I'm able to listen to my soul more. So sometimes I say, oh, it's Krishna telling me to do these things. Or the other way you can look at it is the mantra, the vibration allows your monkey brain to calm down to the point where you can listen to your higher self, listen to your soul. And it's probably my higher self that wanted to do plant medicine, or my higher self that wanted to go to India. So I don't know which way is which, but I still believe that they're real, like people.
Oh, totally.
Like beings,
I learned something interesting when I went to a service with Ananda a few months ago. Like in their services, there's a lot of singing, but also they have some lecture. And so in the lecture, they were talking about karma, talking about how, obviously with karma is we plant the seeds and then we reap the consequences of the seeds, positive and negative. And karma is actually just working through karma's work. So working through the act of like the gardening of our life, right? But they were talking about one way to clear negative karma is through the path of devotion, and specifically like mantras and chanting to Krishna and Rama. And so in the lecture that they were telling a story of however many hundreds of years ago, one of the masters was teaching somebody who had a lot of bad karma to clear, and he says to this person, well, you need to chant Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. And this person tried to do it, but he couldn't do it, and because he just had so many bad habits and so much darkness and negativity. So he came back to the master and said, I can't do the mantras, like just it's not working. And so then the master said, oh, that's not a problem. What you can do instead is just chant Mara Mara. And so if you take the sounds Rama, Mara is actually like the reverse of Rama, and Mara is the name of evil, or like the evil one.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that fascinating? And so he said, just chant that so you can actually feel, it's like allowing the energy to come to the surface. It's basically taking what's subconscious, bring it to the surface. And once you do that long enough, you'll feel the energy of it such that you'll be able to let it go. Then you'll be able to chant Rama. And so this man did it and it worked.
Oh.
And that's when I think about Buddhist practices, one of the basic practices in Buddhism is to not suppress, but to name what is there. So for example, if you're feeling anger, breathing in, I notice that I'm feeling anger. Breathing out, feeling anger. Breathing in, I'm feeling sad. Breathing out. And so when we name it and allow it to come to the surface, then we bring these emotions to a place that they can become integrated, and then we can create something new, plant new seeds. So just an interesting note about mantras and how even, it doesn't have to be all rainbows and butterflies. Simply the allowing our voice to bring to the surface what is under the surface allows things to clear so that we can then integrate and raise our vibrations. So.
Wow. Well, I mean, the other thing that I noticed, because we were talking to Paul Q&A before one of our ayahuasca ceremonies, and we were asking about karma and is there a way to clear some of our karma? And he said, when you start working with the deities, Krishna or Kali or Shiva or Ganesh or, I'm sure that includes Jesus as well, but I feel sometimes with Christianity, it might be a little bit difficult because of all the other stuff, religiosity around it, you know, unless you go to the Gnostic texts and get the pure. And so that's what he was saying. He's like, once you start working with the deities, your karma is sped up. And I felt like I went through hell, you know, when I started chanting the Krishna mantra, and I just went through a lot of hard times, homelessness, and there was a lot of grief, and I'm like, what is going on? And when he said that, I was like, I wonder if that's what it was. Like some of my karma got sped up, and I had to process it. It was a rough 10 years. Just too much was happening. So I wonder if that was what was happening. Like my karma got, you know, things were being burned up to clear the path for, you know, what's happening now, which I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But I feel like I feel like I need to be playing a much bigger role in society. I just don't know what that looks like. Am I supposed to be writing a book? Is it this channel? Am I supposed to be healing people? And if I am, how? But I've seen myself on stages, like speaking, like as some sort of spiritual leader. But I'm like, I feel so far away from that, you know?
Well, one step at a time. Here we are.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No. But to end on I guess on a note of music and vibration, my personal coach, she asked me, and she's like, okay, well, if you want to bring forth something to the world, what would it be? And my immediate answer was the power of vibration, the power of sound, the power of mantras. So, you know, and then that could, you know, that for you, that's kind of what you're doing with your music, the power of singing and developing your voice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I hope you create more songs for the little ones. Because if we can get the next generation singing, they're not going to have problems, you know, with drugs or connection or anxiety or depression if they grow up singing. That's actually like I was listening to Brene Brown this morning. Oh, it's late. Okay, I should close it. Okay, but Brene Brown this morning on vulnerability, that's the main thing that she noticed is the people that are more vulnerable are the ones that have more connection in their lives, and they're the ones that are happier. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Good to talk, Kat. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for singing on YouTube and talking about plant medicine.
You're welcome.
Okay. Have a good night.
Hey, blessings.